adjustments?
We changed how we were guarding the ball screen stuff, but that was really the only adjustment. I thought we just were really bad in the first half. I mean, there's really not an explanation for it. We didn't shoot it well. We didn't turn it over, and even though it seemed like we weren't getting stops, we only shot 45%, which isn't an incredibly high number. But we were offensively just really, really bad in the first half. And they do a good job. They help. They really get in the paint. And, you know, they're a team you got to make some shots against from the perimeter, which we did that in the second half, and it opened up, and then it seemed like you get to the rim a little bit. But they made winning plays down the stretch. They didn't go away. They hit some big threes, some timely threes, and they made all their free throws when we needed their help a little bit. You know, you can't win a game in the first half, but you can lose one. And, you know, I'm really proud of our guys' effort and toughness in the second half, but I mean, it goes without saying you can't ever play somebody and spot them 20 at half and feel good about winning the game.
Did you give a grade to your defensive effort in the first half?
You know, I mean, it's always better at that watching film. I didn't think we were real good. I mean, it was below average. It wasn't an A effort. I mean, that's for sure. But you know, we had one steal at halftime. They're a team you're not going to get a ton of steals off of because they don't dribble much. You know, I mean, they dribble out near half court in a stalling type of deal, and they, you know, basically hit you with passing and pick you apart a little bit. And then they ball screen some, so they do come off some ball screens, but it's not really ball screen to turn the corner and score like a lot of teams. It's more just ball screen to get you moving and then space you with shooters. So, you know, it's something we don't see all the time. We had a harder time, an easier time in the second half guarding him because we went to switching more of the ball screens, and I thought that Will and Ty were good in the second half about switching and keeping the ball in front. That was probably something that would have helped us had we done it the whole game. That being said, we've done that. We did that to them the first time we switched, and they just shredded us. So we didn't come into it thinking that would be the best plan of action, and obviously in hindsight that wasn't a great decision.
Even though their percentage was not all that high in the first half, they still got an awful lot of open looks on the perimeter, and then, you know, something really down inside too. Yeah,
we were just, you know, we were a step off. I mean, we were just a step off. Part of the tough thing is, and it's the reality of our group. We need a little bit more, whether that be, and I think Cadero gave it to us the game before, but we need a little firepower coming in so that when guys are struggling, we can, you know, get a little bit of infusion of performance, and that's something that, you know, guys are trying. They're working hard. They're giving us what they can, and but we definitely don't have the ability to, you know, maybe sub as liberally as what you would like, and all that being said, we had, I think, 4 times we had a chance to tie the game. Now, they weren't all great looks, and certainly the reason Walt fouled out, we left him in for the press because it was a 1-point game. We had no timeouts. If we did steal the ball, I didn't want him sitting beside me, not in for the last possession. And you know, we told him to be careful, and he, you know, it wasn't a bad play that he made, and I do think he fouled him, but it was one of those, like, it's right in front of him, and he fouls by an inch, you know, and another inch, and that's all ball, and all of a sudden we've got it there going in for a layup to take the lead. But you know, it was we weren't in a great situation at that point because we were out of timeouts and we needed him in, and then you know, with Reek at the 1, obviously he had it going offensively, so we wanted him to have the ball, but all of his points were coming off catching second passes. They weren't just coming up, you know, going one with the defense squared up on him. So it wasn't a great you know, position to have to stick him in on a night where he played unbelievably well.
Can you expound on his performance? And he had 22 in about a 5.5-minute stretch there. So.
Well, you know what? I thought, like, he and Walt, and I'll give Tyshawn and Will, you know, in the second half also, like, those guys, it felt like Reek just wasn't going to let us lose. You know, he just kind of willing us to get back in the game, and other guys were playing well too. I mean, Reek and Walt, you get the attention because you got the points, but on the times they did miss, it seemed like Will was always there or Ty was there to get a putback, which, you know, makes a big difference. But Reek was fantastic. you know, offensively. He really shot it well, and he was in an unbelievable groove. And I thought he guarded well. You know, he didn't have a big rebounding night by his standards for what he usually does, but I mean, overall, that was as good offensive performance as he's had.
Did you get an explanation on technical?
Well, I just said I was out of the coach's box, which I evidently I was out of the coach's box. But it wasn't for swearing, because I don't even know what I said, but it wasn't anything drastic that I do know.
A little odd to be out of the coach's box during a timeout.
I have no idea. It was called. I was surprised it was called, but it was called. So. You know.
On the back to the first half with the defense, was some of the problem there? Does it go back to just having changed it and not switching on the ball screens and that causing some of the lost coverages?
Well, you know, it can be, but you know, let's be honest, like we have certain teams we guard really well, and at this point in the year it's pretty obvious we're good against teams that drive it a lot. If you drive it a lot, we're pretty good defensively. If you put 4 3-point shooters and space us, it's hard for us because we have to apply ball pressure to create turnovers. If we don't create turnovers, we have no chance to win. That you know, that would bear out over the course of the season. So as you're attempting to apply ball pressure, you're going to occasionally get driven, and they stand guys deep in the corner. And they probably have the best corner shooters in the league. I mean, they really do. Those guys, you know, you give up threes in the course of a year to teams. It doesn't seem like there are a ton of guys that make a pile of corner threes. I mean, you see that in the NBA. You don't see it in college that much. I mean, Sonnen and Bohannon, those guys, that's like, seems like their favorite spot. Like they're always hanging out in the corner, and it makes it hard. You know, I mean, they do a good job spacing you, and we help because we have to help because we can't just keep everybody in front while pressuring. And you know, you got to give them credit. They won the game at the foul line late. If they would have helped us at all and missed 1 or 2, I think we'd have had enough time. We just ran out of time. They found a way to make a couple plays when they needed it deep in the game, but I'm not discouraged. You know, it's kind of it's a hard game to evaluate because I'm completely disappointed with our energy level in the first half. But you know, I mean, I'm not going to be down on our guys. I mean, it's easy. We could have rolled over. We didn't. We fought back because you can fight back by playing hard, but fighting back is production. I mean, we scored 47 points in the second half. We competed for loose balls. I mean, Eastman's diving, batting that second shot when Walt got rejected. He tips it, and we get one more chance to have a play. Like I'm not faulting effort. They just played better than us overall for the whole day because of how you know, good they were and bad we were in the first half.
Okay.
Good.